Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin. We move to the hardwood, and as the offseason continues to move, it looks like the Boston Celtics have kind of stabilized. It looks like they're out of moves, and if at this point they're done making moves, which I think they are, I think now they have one player over the max, and so they'll have to cut somebody. But what do you give them for a grade for the offseason? What they went into and where they stand now, obviously with Hayward, losing out on Bradley, getting a couple pieces. What's your grade for the offseason?
I think a B. I think a B is fair to go with. I mean, they had to get Gordon Hayward after the whole Paul George thing fell apart. After, the draft pick, they traded the draft, on one spot.
Yep.
But I think you have to be excited with the way this team is put together. They have another scorer. Looks like they're going to keep Isaiah Thomas. I don't know if they're done. They're probably done for now as far as making a move. But I do think there is one trade that Danny's going to make during the middle of the season next year.
Okay.
That might put him over the top, waiting for a team maybe who might fall out of the basement there. But I don't think the way things are going in Cleveland, I think if you're a Celtics fan, you have to feel good about your chances. And even if LeBron stays with Cleveland next year and Kyrie somehow stays next year, I think the Celtics are the favorite out of the East next year. I don't think the Cavs are a lock.
And we'll get to that. And I agree. B+. Losing Avery Bradley was tough. They had to lose someone.
But you knew he was going to go.
But I would have rather seen somebody like a Jay Crowder. But because of the salary implications, I know it was an Avery Bradley. And I know this team is good, and obviously getting Hayward is great. You wonder if that Anthony Davis trade is somewhere around the corner. Is that what you might be alluding to during the regular season? Is somebody of that big of a name? Or is that too big of a fish to get?
You would have to really pin ownership at New Orleans that they have to be pretty dumb to give up Anthony Davis. But the Celtics have the pieces. If New Orleans can't sign Davis, and I don't know when his contract is up, but you got to imagine
he has like 4 years left.
But they're not going anywhere.
Right.
You have to be able to maintain a small salary for New Orleans because they're not a big market. But I mean, Celtics have the draft picks, so if any team's going to go after, and they're not going to trade him in the West.
Right.
So that's another bonus towards your side. I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it'll be a big name. Obviously, I can't give you, right off the bat, I know terrible take right there, but I do think it'll be a big name at the trade deadline.
Make somebody to put him over the top. But they might not need a player to get over the top because, as you mentioned, the Cavs, this team is, I don't want to say in shambles. That might be a little too over the top.
I think they're in shambles.
But do you think Kyrie comes back and plays? I don't think there's any way Kyrie can play.
It's already been damaged. The relationship has been
unfollowing
damaged.
LeBron on Instagram. I mean, come on now. You cannot get over that.
The ultimate NBA slight? No, he didn't hit me on the floor. No, he didn't call me a bad. He unfollowed me on Instagram. Only in the NBA, where everybody's friends. I think the damage has already been done. LeBron's upset, and it doesn't take much to get him upset. Cleveland really doesn't have much cap space. They don't have a GM, even though their new GM is a guy from Middlebury College, went to Middlebury. But other than that, I don't see this team being. They'll be 2-3 top in the Eastern Conference, but I think the Celtics in a 7-game series, the Celtics will be fresher. They have better scores, better wing players. They actually play defense, and the coach is actually pretty darn good. So I think the Celtics have to be the favorite. Cleveland, I think they're in shambles, Jeremy. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg.
And you got to remember that if they do trade Kyrie, they're going to get some pieces that are going to be younger or draft picks. So it's not like they're trading Kyrie for a player who will step right in.
But the teams he wants to go to, they don't have anything.
Right.
Spurs, Knicks. I forget the two other teams that he was. Minnesota, maybe.
Yeah, Minnesota was one of the hot teams.
But those other teams, they don't have anything to give up.
So is it possible that in 2 years, not this coming year, the next year, 2018-19 season, LeBron and Kyrie both gone off the Cavs? I mean, this team could go downhill fast.
Jeremy, when LeBron signed the second time with Cleveland, I said it on the radio, don't be surprised if this guy leaves again. Everybody laughed at me and said, no, he loves Cleveland. He loves Ohio. He loves everything about it. I said, don't be fooled. And now we're seeing it. I can absolutely see him leaving Cleveland and going to the West Coast.
All right. Would you take Kyrie instead of Isaiah Thomas? Because that would be the piece they'd have to give up plus draft picks.
No.
No.
I think Kyrie's a selfish player. I think, he wants more shots. Dude, you took a ton of shots with Cleveland, and you had one of the best passers in LeBron. I don't want him. Seems like a locker room killer.
And without LeBron, his numbers are pretty terrible. He does not win without LeBron, but LeBron without him, I know you hate him, but LeBron without Kyrie does win.
You don't know what you have till it's gone, right?
I know, that's true. And the Cavs might find that out. Hopefully for the Celtics that happens, because you're right, I think the Celtics would be the favorite in the Eastern Conference this coming year. We'll take our final break. When we come back, we'll head over to the board and we'll go through our top 5 teams in the NFC for this upcoming football season. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.